Okay, continuing with Unit 12 and type and poster layout. What we're going to look at is how to design the words we want to go with our spot illustration so that they can look really clean, really effective, and be versatile for different design solutions. So when I say design, and this is a design project, right? A type and poster design project. Design in art is problem solving. So the problem we have that we didn't have on our spot illustration is a set format. That set format is what's called an international portrait format. It is called an A2 format. Right? So an A2 format is a paper size that measures 420 millimeters by 594 millimeters or 16.5 inches by 23.4 inches. It's often used for printing posters and other large format projects. We set our poster design to be 16 by 20, and then that's what you see here, 16 by 20. And then we design our own border on it. It can be a thin border or a thick border, but the border needs to be white, and your background has to be something other than white. And so your design problem is within that rectangle, whether it's portrait format or horizontal format, right? This is called portrait, this is called landscape. Vertical format, horizontal format. That versus this, right? You have to decide how to arrange your spot illustration on there, and then how to fill the space in an engaging way with your what's called copy, with your text. Okay. So, how do we start that? Well, we open up Photopea. And we're going to start a new project. And we're going to name it Assignment 6 with our name. And this is poster and type design. Now, this is the design format for a poster that we are using. It's also the largest format we can print within the lab, right? And that is 300 pixels per inch. I'm going to set that first. Then I'm going to set the height and width to inches, because that's how America measures these instead of millimeters or pixels. And then we're going to go 16 inches wide by 20 inches tall. If your design is taller than it is wide, so you can see examples here, right? But my design, you always want to remind yourself what you did for assignment 5. My design is wider than it is tall, right? And I can design it as a poster either way. But for my intentions, actually, yeah, I am going to make it taller. Never mind. I am going to make it tall. But I could swap these so that it was horizontal instead of vertical. It just depends how you want to use the space around it. So I'm going to do vertical for this. I'm doing horizontal in the morning class. Now I have a 16 by 20 inch, 300 pixel per inch. Now I'm going to bring my best PNG, the one that I did the most work to at this point, though I can still do more work to it. For my example, this is the one that has the CMYK color separation dots that I showed you last class. It kind of uses all the tricks I know, even some little offsetting there to give some movement to the fly, to make this look kind of vintage and engaging for this spot illustration. And it's just free floating. And it's going to be dragged and dropped in so it can be a smart object, right? One that I can resize, and it will always be the cleanest resolution possible based on the original file. Next, I'm going to make a duplicate of the background. So Command J, and then I'm going to fill that duplicate with gray. Go Edit, Fill, Gray, 100%. and that shows off my offset, right? Then I'm going to hit Option Command T to free transform, and while holding down Shift and Option, I'm going to design my border. So your poster is required to have a spot illustration, type design, a background, and a border. So here, I am deciding how thick my border is going to be within the 16 by 20. That looks reasonable to me. I hit return, and now I'm going to lock that background, lock the white so I don't accidentally do anything with these layout components. And now I'm ready to design my type. I'm also going to lock my spot illustration for now, but I can always change it and create a new layer, and this is going to be my text blocking. Now my idea, I think I posted this already. Let me see. My text blocking sketch was this, not my fault, I voted. This is in kind of a horizontal format. This is where the design comes in. If I want to challenge myself to make it work in a vertical format, I need to give myself a little bit more space so I can put I voted around it. And so I'm going to transform it, Option Command T, and I'm just going to hold down Option to shrink it kind of towards the middle. And then maybe move it down a little bit so that I have more space for the not my fault part above. Now, because it's a smart object, I am not hurting the quality of the resolution at all by doing this. Okay, now I can lock that again and go to my text blocking sketch. And now I can put some of these ideas in. Now let's see if I already drew this out, because then I can steal that, which is helpful. I'm going to say File, Open in Photopea, go to my folder, go to my assignment 6 folder, open up the PSD. There it is, right? This is my text blocking. So let me see if I can just copy all of that. Command A, Command C, move it over, paste it in. Ooh, and I like that. That kind of big, not my fault, right there. But what I don't think works so well is the I, so I need to move that over. So I'll just make a duplicate. Erase this on the duplicate. This is all just organizing and using pixels. And then Option Command T, it's going to be a lot of this, kind of arranging while they're sketches. Throw the I in there. Maybe throw the D in there. See if I can be happy with it in that format. Or if I need to, as I suspect I need to, shrink the spot illustration even more. Even though I worked really hard on that spot illustration, right? In a vertical format, I'm going to need it to be a little bit smaller. So this is all part of text blocking. Yeah, I think that works pretty well. So now let me move them both over so they have some space. And now add what's on top, the not my fault. Then I want to get rid of the stuff off to the sides. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is my text blocking idea, right? Now, let's show you an alternate. What if I design it this way. So I have my canvas size at 20 inches wide by 16 inches tall. And I make a new background that I put behind everything, and I fill it in with white. Right? And then I duplicate it, Command J, and I fill it in with gray. And then I hit Option Command T to free transform, hold down Option and Shift to really design what my border will be. Hit Return, lock both of those. And now I can arrange these with Option Command T to kind of fit. And I actually think this might be a more successful poster layout for engagement, especially if I isolate this section of the type and make it stronger. So this is going to be an example of a poster where the type design is even a little bit more of a focal point than the spot illustration, right? If I do it this way. Which puts a lot of pressure on the type design. But then you choose, what do you think is more engaging? Right? This, I feel, needs something down here, like it would need to be underlined or something. But it feels squeezed. This feels a little bit more balanced between it. So I think I might go with the horizontal version. So all of that is part of the design part, the problem solving of how do you use the space for your type, right? And it's called text blocking because it really matters what the shape is that your text is filling. Remember this example from my inspiration. The boxes, the banners, the shapes that your type fills, that has a lot of vocal impact, as well as the actual words that you use the type to spell. So I like this. So this is going to be my design for my text blocking. So I'm going to save that, export it as a JPEG, and this shows all the design parameters. And then I can go ahead and post that to show you that text blocking, you don't want to be done with that step until you're fully happy with it. And it helps to have the outside 16 by 20 parameters and your border width as a component into it. So think of this as my refined text blocking sketch. Ah, did I just hit next instead of, yeah, so annoying. Computers. Let's bring it in again. Save. Okay, so now I have a clearer idea of how it will fit on a background. It's not going to be a gray background. That gray just shows me the space I have to work with. And now, how do I go about designing my type? So, it's a good time to lock your spot illustration. You don't want to accidentally color on it. And you want to keep it, let's see, in this one, this is an older spot illustration, right? This is not with my CMYK. So I'm going to go to assignment 5 and bring in my latest one. But it takes up the same amount of space, right? So for design purposes, it all works. But what's nice about bringing it in as a PNG and then dropping it in is that it is a smart object, right? So it has those protections, which are very nice.